We're just 10 days away from election day in Germany. German Bundestag met for the last time before the vote, and it turned out to be a political slugfest between frontrunners for chancellorship. There are three major players to watch out for in the elections on the 23rd of this month. Friedrich Merz led Christian Democratic Union, Olaf Scholz led Social Democratic Party, and Alice Weidel led Alternative for Germany. There are other small parties that might enter the picture if these three fail to get the majority. That is usually the case in German politics. In the last Bundestag session before the vote, both Friedrich Merz and Olaf Scholz vowed not to form any post-poll alliance with far-right Alternative for Germany. Meanwhile, Alice Weidel, leader of the far-right Alternative for Germany, told her fellow Bundestag members that change in Germany is only possible with AfD.
Strong leadership, strong nerves, a clear course, that's what matters in such difficult times, not fickleness and a loud mouth.
Do you know who you remind me of? Both of you, Mr. Robert Habeck and Mr. Scholz. Like two managers who have driven the company into the wall, then go to the owners and say they'd like to carry on the same way for 4 years. That's how you seem to me.
Grün-Rot ist gescheitert.
You too, Mr. Merz, have already failed because what you are doing is deceiving voters. You will not be able to realize any of your promises with Green-Red. That is part of the truth.
Sie sind bereits gescheitert, denn
according to the latest polls, Friedrich Merz of CDU is leading the race for chancellorship with 30% support among voters. 8 percentage points behind Merz is far-right AfD's Alice Weidel, while sitting Chancellor Olaf Scholz is lagging behind on third with 17% support from voters. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban hosted Alice Weidel in Budapest. During a joint presser with Hungarian Prime Minister, Weidel called Hungary a bulwark against illegal migration and vowed to take Germany down the same path.
I personally, and this is also the program of the Alternative for Germany, advocate doing the same as Hungary in order to be a bulwark against illegal migration. We can no longer do that. The EU is in favor of illegal migration, and we are against it because we want to protect our citizens.
About 59.2 million eligible voters will cast their ballot on February 23rd, with migration and economic stability among key issues. Trent Murray is our correspondent in Germany. He's now joining us live from Berlin. Good to see you, Trent. Who do you think among the three candidates got the ear of the Bundestag?
Well, I think you could see there in that final session of this Bundestag just how combative the rhetoric was from some of those candidates running for Chancellor. Friedrich Merz, the opposition leader and certainly the front runner right now, according to the polls, really going on the attack against not just Olaf Scholz, but his coalition partner, Robert Habeck there, as we heard there, describing them as failed company directors which had run Germany into the ground, and we're now asking the voters or the shareholders for another term. Olaf Scholz, though, for his part, certainly hasn't gone down without a fight. He certainly threw a few sledges back towards the opposition, saying that they would be cutting social programs here in Germany in order to try and pay for some of their policies. But what we know right now is that Olaf Scholz is staring down the barrel of a one-term chancellorship. He's well behind in the polls, and the indications are that migration and the economy continue to dominate voters' concerns right now. So look, we're obviously less than 2 weeks to go now before Europe's largest economy heads to the polls. The Conservatives are in front, but one would imagine Olaf Scholz's Social Democrats will be trying to use the next 11 days to do all they can to try and drive up some of those dire poll numbers.
Trent, you forgot to mention or to talk anything about AfD. Probably quickly you can tell us, did they have an ear of the Bundestag?
Yeah, well, look, as we heard there again, Alice Weidel, the leader of the AfD, is currently in Budapest meeting with Viktor Orban there. In many ways, they are very closely aligned in terms of their political ideology. What Alice Weidel was saying while she was in the Hungarian capital was that Hungary is providing the model for how the rest of Europe should deal with illegal immigration. Now, she's clearly calculated that this is a vote-winning strategy based on the fact that migration is the number one concern amongst German voters, according to the polls. Right now, we understand that she will likely place second, according to the current estimates. Of course, that could change, but that is where her polling is right now. All of the other parties, though, we must remember, have vowed not to work with her. So even if the AfD does very well on election day, it is unlikely that they will be part of any future government this term. But it could well and truly set her and the party up to be the official opposition, which would cause a political earthquake in this country.
Trent Murray, good to see you. Thank you very much for talking to us today. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.